Alright, so I guess we're gonna do a the top 25 lookover going into week 6. I'm not gonna do a game day lookover tonight. I'll do one tomorrow morning. There is games tonight, so I will talk about those tomorrow because I'll get a recording of talking about those games beforehand and then include it into tomorrow's early video, so go check that out. But anyways, I guess I gotta go straight into it. And no surprise, some spots haven't changed, some have, and two of those that haven't changed are Alabama and Georgia at the 1 and the 2. Both of these teams obviously won, have kept their spot, and I don't think anybody was surprised. Then number 3 is Iowa, who jumped from 5, which they do deserve to be there. 4 is Penn State, 5 is Cincinnati, 6 is Oklahoma, 7 is Ohio State, 8 is Oregon, 9 is Michigan, 10 is BYU, 11 is Michigan State, 12 is Oregon State, Oregon State, OSU, 13 is Arkansas, 14 is Notre Dame, 15 is Coastal Carolina, 16 is the University of Kentucky, 17 is Ole Miss, 18 is Auburn, 19 is Wake Forest, 20 is Florida, 21 is Texas, 22 is Arizona State, 23 is NC State, 24 is SMU, and 25 is San Diego State. No sign of Clemson. First time in years that they've been outside of it. And as a quick look over at these games, or these teams from last week, Cincinnati moves up after a win over Notre Dame. We're not going to talk about that. I'll have a review out tomorrow at some point. I don't even know if I want to review the game, and then I'll have a preview out tomorrow because I got a packed schedule, so a lot of those videos and stuff are going to get done super early tomorrow, maybe some tonight. I don't even know. I got to figure out my recording schedule, but it depends on how long it takes this video to get up. But that game was atrocious. Notre Dame didn't really show up. They should have showed up, and it just disappointed me with what happened. I was wrong. Oklahoma State's not 12. It is at 12, not Oregon State. My bad. Some others receiving votes are Clemson, Texas A&M, Oregon State, Baylor, Mississippi State, Virginia Tech, Stanford, UTSA, Pittsburgh, Fresno State, Texas Tech, Western Michigan, App State, K-State, Boston College, and UCLA. That's just because I switched over, so that's why I wanted to talk about that, but going back to that game, that was horrible. I really don't want to talk about it. And that'll be the topic for a video later today or tomorrow, so watch out for that, where I'll go a lot more in depth and kind of talk about the struggles, like the O-line, Jack Cohen, losing another receiver. So now we're down to 6 scholarship receivers because, apparently we like to be a disappointment this year, but as far as this year's gone, it's a middle year for us. I think we're going into that territory, and nothing will stop us from going into that territory. Yeah, there's actually games going on right now for college football. It is. Wait, did they already end? No, I'm looking at the wrong week, that's why. Yeah, there is games on right now. Temple, Cincy, and Charlotte FIU are on right now. Temple, Cincy is in the second, and so is Charlotte FIU. And then later tonight, Stanford, Arizona State. That'll be fun. Not for me, but that'll be fun. I know a guy who's a fan of one of those teams. But looking back at week 5, Iowa had a big win over Maryland, another undefeated team. to kind of put them in place. BYU had a win over Utah State, which they should have won. Arkansas got knocked down by Georgia 0-37. They got destroyed. They got put in their place, so to speak. Michigan beat Wisconsin, something I didn't think they'd do. The quarterback change really helped in that game. Sadly, Michigan won, as much as I hate to say it. It was disappointing for me because I like seeing Michigan lose, and I know some Michigan fans. Don't worry, they're still going to play Penn State. But then you've got Wake Forest, who barely beat Louisville to put themselves, or to add another win to that column. Cincinnati, like I said, beat Notre Dame 24-13. That'll be talked about in another video. Coastal Carolina won a game that by what they really should have, 59-6 over UL Monroe. Alabama beat Ole Miss and knocked them right out of the top 25, which I didn't expect them to knock them that far. I also didn't expect them to knock San Diego State in. Oregon lost to Stanford, something I never thought would happen. I've said multiple times that Stanford fell off a cliff, and now I regret it. I regret it for a day. Oklahoma beat Kansas State by one score to stay in the top 20, or to stay high in the top 25. Florida lost to Kentucky, which is half the reason they're in the rankings right now, because they're an under the radar team right now. They're flying so far under the radar that nobody can see them right now because they're doing so well, and not a lot of people picked up on it at first. I didn't. But Ohio State beat Rutgers like they should have. NC State barely beat Louisiana Tech by a score. But half the reason they're here is because they destroyed Clemson. Or they beat Clemson. And a loss for Clemson is a win for me. Mississippi State beat A&M. That is why they are out of the rankings right now. Dropped from 15th to unranked. And why they are only getting votes. Oklahoma State jumped because they knocked Baylor out. The 21 seed Baylor is still receiving votes, but they are out. Oklahoma State was knocked out, or was bounced up to 12th. Penn State beat Indiana 24-0. Not really surprising. Indiana's an up and down team, depending on which one you get. And that's what I said going into that game. And they really showed that they can sometimes be an up-and-down team. Michigan State came closer with Western Kentucky than I think they kind of should have. 48-31 to push them up a little bit in the rankings. To 11th. How did they jump so far? Clemson barely beat Boston College, but still got knocked out of the top 25. Hey, every time I say Boston College, Clemson is competitive, or could be competitive. It's competitive. So, last 2 years it's been competitive. I'm happy for that. Auburn beat LSU to keep themselves in the top 25. It was a one-score game, very close, good game. Arizona State beat UCLA to knock them out 42-23. Really wasn't even a game. And then Hawaii beat Fresno State by a field goal to win, which I was very surprised about. I didn't think Fresno State was going to lose that. I was like, they can't lose that to Hawaii, and they did. It still astonishes me that they did that to this day. And then to get in to the top 25, what did SMU and San Diego State do? Is what actually no, they didn't drop Ole Miss out. I don't know why I said that earlier, but let me check and see those two games. This is gonna take a minute, but I'm surprised San Diego State even made it into the top 25. I didn't know they were even receiving votes or were close to it. Of all teams, they would have been one of the last teams I would have thought of. But SMU destroyed Southern Florida 41-17 to push themselves in. And looking farther down the list of teams, why do I not see them? Do they have a bye? I will search for that, but if I don't find it and I miss it, that's my bad. If not, they probably have a bye. And yeah, I think they had a bye. Unless I'm not seeing something. If I'm not seeing it, my bad, but it's weird. It was a chaotic week of more upsets, and we'll see what happens this week to move the top 25. Let's hope Notre Dame gets back in the top 10, shall we? But anyways, you know who I am. I had to get something out on this. I wanted to get this done earlier in the week, but when I tried to record it Tuesday, I wasn't feeling right. I couldn't get through a whole take, and then as it gradually went on, just last night I was busy, and then Wednesday I had my podcast with my friend One Trey Rock over on his channel, so go check that out. Podcasts didn't come out. I had to push them back. Stuff was going on, but they will be back out this week. I don't know which form they'll be in, whether it's live or not, but they will be back this week, and I'll see you guys hopefully at the end of hopefully tomorrow, which is the end of the week, with more stuff, if not later tonight.